Chuck and Bob with you on a Thursday as we get you ready for the final week of the regular season in Indiana, week 5 in Michigan. A lot to talk about. We'll start up north of the border as Lakeshore plays host to Battle Creek Lakeview. Lancers coming off a nice win over St. Joseph last week, their arch rival. They won the War on the Shore, collected the Anchor Trophy. No time for a letdown, though, because here comes a Battle Creek Lakeview team that, while not ranked, 4-0 on the year.
Yeah, Spartans are having another solid season. They've kind of dominated Lakeshore the last couple of times they've met. But Lakeshore is a different ball club under Denny Dock, doing a nice job. They're 3-1, and I think, Chuck, it might be a real important factor here that they're playing at home again.
Well, Lakeview has a terrific defense. They posted shutouts in 2 of the last 3 games. They ran for over a quarter mile last week against Matawan. They've won 13 straight regular season games. This is a big game for Lakeshore, which is ranked number 10. They need J.J. Bushu and Aiden Jackson, the rest of that triple option attack, to find a way to move the ball against the Spartans.
Well, defense is going to be key. We'll see if they can come up with enough to stay in the ball game.
Let's come down to Indiana. Fairfield has already clinched the Northeast Corner Conference title, but they would like to wrap up an unbeaten regular season. They go on the road for a test at Churrobusco with a fine Young Eagle squad.
Yeah, but they're also bringing Matt Thacker with them, the head coach, who might be up for some Coach of the Year honors. They've done a phenomenal job, 7-0 at Fairfield this year. And this is a team that really struggled just to score points maybe 3 years ago. Churrobusco's 4-2, and they rolled over Fairfield last year. But again, it's such a different package for the Falcons this year.
Well, it's been feast or famine for Busco this year. They either score a bunch of points or they get shut out, which has happened in their 2 losses. They've got a young team. They've got a nice sophomore quarterback in Riley Burrow. Wyatt Marks is a good sophomore running back. But I take a look at the experience on this Fairfield team, the carrot dangling in front of them with that undefeated season. I think that would be enough to push the Falcons through in this one. And, oh, yeah, it helps to have a 3-year starting quarterback in Corey Lance.
Yeah, how about the fact that they've already wrapped up the Northeast Corner Conference? I mean, a very competitive conference on a yearly basis, and that's just phenomenal. Congratulations on what you're doing there at Fairfield.
Pair of 7-1 teams square off at Liberty Field in Stark County. Pioneer comes rolling in to take on North Judson with the Hoosier North Conference at stake. And with Pioneer, you know what you're going to get. They're going to run the football. They're going to score a lot of points, and the question is the North Judson defense, which has been very good this year, can they hold them down enough where the North Judson offense can score?
Well, Brett Lambert, since he took over the program, has had steady increases in efficiency and performance for his team. This is a big test. Obviously, anybody that plays Pioneer knows it's going to be one of those games that you circle at the beginning of the season and say that's going to be a key game for us.
Tabor Brown, Dylan Marian spearhead that Blue Jay defense. When you take a look at offense, can the quarterback Trey Hampton and the running back Cheyenne Allen generate enough points? Let's say that defense holds Pioneer to 21, which not many teams do. If they hold them to 21, can that offense score enough points? We'll have to wait and see tomorrow night.
Yep.
2 games will decide the Northern Lakes Conference champion. One of them occurs down at Fisher Field in Warsaw tomorrow night as Concord goes to Warsaw. If Bart Curtis's Tigers win, they get a share of the NLC title. You've got one team that wants to run the ball and not throw it against a team that loves to throw the ball in Concord but doesn't run it very well.
I look for the Minutemen to kind of try to pack it in defensively, looking for Juan Jaramillo, who's done a tremendous job at Warsaw. And, the Green's done a nice job at quarterback as well. But look at this guy. You talk about a sore arm. He should have had last week. He threw for over 400 yards against Northridge. And he's just done a terrific job there. And Hunter Dutton has been solid. Jack Darcy, a great target to throw to. And on defense, Alvin Koltukian has been a factor. He made a lot of big plays last week.
Yeah, we saw him on offense a little bit last week, too. So he'll be a factor for Concord. You take a look at this Warsaw team. Bob mentioned Juan Jaramillo, but Aaron Green, celebrating his birthday as we record this today, is the quarterback and really the guy that directs this Tigers attack.
I would take the over in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in what should be just a fantastic game down at Fisher Field in Warsaw.
And, of course, we mentioned a carrot dangling for Fairfield. Well, obviously a big one here for Warsaw if they want a share of the NLC title. Should Warsaw win it, they would share that Northern Lakes Conference championship with the winner of the game between Mishawaka and Northridge over at Raider Field. Bob, let me use the term slobber knocker for this one because it is going to be physical when you have these two teams playing. They love to run the ball. They love to keep it between the tackles. And when you talk about this Mishawaka team, you talk about a team that runs the option really, really well. They've got a speedster in Devon Parker that they can give it to. They've got the diesel in Drew Mason. And don't forget about Keith Kinder's quarterback, Justin Fisher.
Yeah, Fisher can run with the ball. He is big, strong, strapping kid. He can also throw the ball fairly well because they don't throw much. So when they do, it's usually pretty effective. So it's going to be a tough test, again, for Northridge defensively. But, boy, Tom Wogelman's defense has just been terrific. And only 4 shutouts so far this year?
Yeah, 4 shutouts taking on a Mishawaka team that has not scored less than 28 this year. But Mishawaka has to contend with this fella, Dom Crowder. Big physical running back who took it up the middle there. He had over 100 yards in the first quarter last week. And then you've got the crafty Logan Hooley at quarterback. We knew he could run it. Boy, last week he showed he could throw it too. 11 for 11 for 239.
Let's see, let me figure that percentage. I think that's about 100%. But he was also very slippery with the ball. When he ran it, he picked up positive yardage. And then, again, you got to respect everything he does. So when he gets a chance to throw the ball deep, usually there's an opportunity.
Great game scheduled for Intera Field. Unfortunately, the COVID outbreak going on in Elkhart County is going to limit the crowd for that one, but the ones who do get to attend should see a good one. In the NIC, 2 teams are still tied atop what was once called the Northern Division. I guess it's the East-West now.
Big guys.
Whatever the case, 2 teams tied for a division title. One of them is Elkhart. They'll go on the road to New Prairie. Now, 2 years ago, it was Elkhart Central that went to New Prairie and got waxed 49-0. That still weighs on the hearts and minds of the Lions.
Well, Russ Radke is not there anymore, but Casey McKim's come in and done a nice job and relies a lot on the running of Noah Mungie. But Elkhart's got so many weapons, and Wiltfong has done just a great job. Cameron was not even expected to be the starter at the beginning of the year. And he's not only been a starter, but he's leading a team that's undefeated in the top 5 in the state. And, boy, they've got some weapons.
Yeah, they play pretty good defense, too. Kenneth Dennis with that pick. But you've seen Tyron Mason and Derek Woods and Donovan Johnson here. So a lot for New Prairie to have to cover. And the Cougars got to be smarting a little bit. They're coming off a 42-3 loss at the hands of Penn last week.
Yeah, Penn really let them have it. And, you know, one of the things about that game is the only 3 points they scored was on a record-setting field goal. Can you kick 15 field goals in a game? I don't know. New Prairie's got to come up with a way to get points on the board because Elkhart will, and Elkhart's defense is very good, too. You know, we don't talk enough about Rodney McGraw and that whole crew. Yeah. They've got probably 2 or 3 Division I players on that defense, and they're going to be a tough challenge for New Prairie.
So between that defense and a team that scores 44 a game, yeah, look out. Meanwhile, our game in the NIC, the other team that's tied with Elkhart at 3-0 in that division is Marian. They're ranked number 2 in Class 3A, and they will take on St. Joe in the 60th renewal of the little game that people like to call the Holy War around here. St. Joe having a struggle this year. They're 2-6, but they do have some talent.
They do have some talent, and they've lost 6 of the last 7. And I know at practice last night there was a real spirit going on with St. Joe, trying to find a way to really make their season with 1 win, and they could do that against Marian. Matt Eck is a veteran quarterback. He's done a fairly nice job for them. And Asante Anglin, when he gets going, is tough. But boy, look at this Marian offense. Tough to stop.
Malcolm Anderson does the bulk of the running, but they get a lot of help from Maddox Begonia Bright, who can hurt you with both his arm and his leg. He has accounted for 18 touchdowns this year between passing and running combined. And the defense has been gradually getting better. I think the big question mark here, Bob, is Marian hasn't played in 3 weeks. Last week we saw Notre Dame go through that, and I realize it's an apples and oranges comparison. But one of the things Notre Dame talked about is they didn't tackle much in those 3 weeks, and it showed on the field. How much will that show with a Marian defense that hasn't always been top-notch this year?
Well, Michael Davidson, when we talked to him this week, said that he expects there to be some rust, and he expects there to be a little bit of down in some of the performances, but he's got everybody back, virtually everybody back. I think there are a couple guys that might not play, but Maddox Begonia Bright is the key. running that offense, and boy, Sete and the boys on defense. They, you always joke about teams with friendly linebackers that are slow. Well, their linebackers are not friendly and they're not slow. They're pretty effective.
Last week of the regular season, a lot to play for. We'll join you tomorrow night on Facebook, YouTube, and the IHSA Champions Network at 6:45, and of course have the game for you on TV-46 Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Till then, for Bob Nagle, Chuck Freeby, thanks for joining us here on social media.